Okay, welcome back to Guitar Science. We're going to continue putting together the Hardtail Strat as we try to answer the question, what's the difference between a Hardtail Strat and a tremolo one? So, one of the key components in any guitar is the neck. Let's take a look at the neck we're going to use. This is a two-piece Rosewood Neck. There's no skunk stripe here. It's just shaft wood and then fretboard plopped on top. You can see that there are two different pieces right here if you take a look. It's very clear on this side. The fretwood's much darker than the shaft wood, but on this side, it's not quite as clear. The grain is pretty consistent throughout. Beautiful grain. Definitely once I give it a little bit of linseed oil, it'll really shine. It's unfinished. It's unfinished. I love unfinished necks. This is a thing for me ever since I played a roasted maple unfinished neck. I have kind of been obsessed, and every neck that I've purchased since then that hasn't come with a guitar has been unfinished. So I recommend it. If you're one of those players who always likes the satin over the gloss necks, try an unfinished neck, because I was always a satin neck kind of guy, and then I got an unfinished roasted maple neck, and well, now I'm in love. So figured I'd try as many different unfinished woods as I can. And when I saw this deal on a Rosewood Neck, it was too good to pass up. So this is originally from Warmouth. I bought this used on Reverb for a fraction of what it would cost new. And you could do that a lot. So if you want to experiment with unfinished necks, check out Reverb, because there's usually a lot of listings, especially for roasted maple, which is very popular these days. So I've never tried a Rosewood Neck before, but it feels exactly like you would imagine. The back of the neck feels like the smoothest rosewood fretboard you've ever played. It's a great neck feel. It's fantastic. You know, very smooth, not a lot of grain feeling under your hands, but it's definitely wood, and it's definitely not finished, although it's not dramatically different from a really nice satin finish. So the rosewood to me is less of a shock maybe than an unfinished wood like a wenge or something like that, where you really feel the grain. This feels more at home. It's very light rosewood too. I don't have a problem with that. I think the darker rosewood is more aesthetically pleasing, but this is still beautiful, and frankly, I don't really care. And I like the headstock, because that's really where you're going to notice it. You know, the rosewood fretboard is a common thing on guitars, but when you look at the headstock, that's not something you see every day, so love the rosewood headstock as well. So of course, not to go down the rabbit hole here, but there might be a tonal difference in a rosewood neck versus a maple or mahogany or anything else. So you never really know, but the Tonewood Bible would tell you that rosewood is warmer, you know, and you have more lows and mids and kind of less cutting highs than you would on a maple board. So we'll see. I don't know how much that's going to contribute to the tone of the guitar. Certainly the neck matters. Does it matter as much as the pickups? Probably not. Does it matter as much as the bridge? Who knows? But I can tell you this. When you hit it, it doesn't sound like a maple board or a maple neck at all. It has a nice woody sound to it. Kind of reminds me of like a marimba almost. So definitely different wood than maple, absolutely. The density, the grain, so all those things have some factor on the resonance of the neck, and I like to think that the resonance and vibration has some effect on the sound that's ultimately transduced into the guitar amp. But can I prove that? No, definitely not. Very clean. Very clean. Very clean. Okay. No? I can't really find... Let's see, what about that? Okay. Maybe some of that will buff out. Maybe not. But even so, that's covered by the jack plate, so who cares? Won't see it. Okay, and there's a slight, tiny little blemish in the finish there. Again, you know, if you tilt it, you'll see it. It won't show up on the camera, I'm almost positive. Won't show up from 2 feet away, but I'm trying to find any imperfections because it's hard. It's very good. Haven't looked at the back yet. Let's look at the back. Gee, the back looks fine. Don't spend much time looking at the back of the guitar. Yep, there's a little blemish. Wonder if that'll buff out. Sand it, maybe. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't care. It's on the back. Who cares about the back? So I just want to point out what a good job they did with the neck pocket. This is one of the cleanest neck pockets that I have ever seen on a body. And the fact that this entire body was $90 and it's totally finished and the neck pocket is this clean, that's pretty awesome. Before we actually do anything to the neck, we're going to take a look at the neck relief with no strings on it. So let's take a look. I got my notched straight edge here. This thing was like $12. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking for. So that'll be just fine. No adjustments needed whatsoever. It's pretty straight, and you know, I kind of like the neck to be perfectly straight when I mount it to the guitar, because generally the string tension will draw a bit of a bow onto it. So I start with perfectly straight. To be honest, I don't like a lot of relief in the guitars that I play. I find that relief introduces problems, and if you keep the neck very close to straight, or with, you know, the tiniest possible amount of relief on it, generally you don't have as many problems with fret buzzing and too high action causing intonation issues and things like that. When you start to introduce a lot of relief, those problems tend to crop up. So personally, my philosophy is keep the relief to an absolute minimum, unless the guitar will not play without. Okay, so I've decided that I want to weigh this body. It's exceptionally light. You know, you can hold it with one hand and it's not at all uncomfortable. So I want to know exactly what it weighs, because I am impressed with how light this is, considering that it's solid alder and it's probably got a thick poly finish on it. So let's see. Yeah, that looks like 3 pounds, 13 ounces. That's exceptionally light. To be honest, I was expecting this to come in, you know, in the mid 4 or even 5 pound range. So that's great. This is going to be a very light guitar. Now, some people believe that the density of the wood can contribute to the tone. Perhaps that's so, but I can tell you, I don't see a trend. You know, I don't feel like the heavy guitars I've played sound better than the light guitars I played, or vice versa. I haven't really noticed anything. So if there is a difference there, it's small enough that when you add in all the other factors, it's never been noticeable for me. So 3 pounds, 13 ounces for a body, exceptionally light for an alder body. And let's weigh the neck too while we're here. Neck's not gonna fit on this kitchen scale very well, so we're gonna use a bit of a weigh boat here. Okay, 1 pound, 4 ounces. I think that's pretty standard for a neck weight. Not too heavy, not too light. So, you know, this whole guitar, probably right there, that's about 5 pounds with the neck and the body. Put everything else on, probably looking at, you know, 7, 8 pound, reasonable weight guitar. So that's good. I'm not a gigging musician. I don't play standing up all the time, but I don't like a guitar that's super heavy. Okay, so to me, this is one of the more important moments, and it could be a total pain in the butt if it does not go as expected. So we gotta fit the neck. Let's see. Again, the neck pocket looks real clean, so I'm not super worried, but let's see. Oh yeah, wow. Yup. Yeah, that's in there. All right. I don't think that's going to be a problem whatsoever. Oops, that was dumb. And folks, that's why nobody pays me to work on their guitar. So next time, we will start assembling everything, and as you're going to see, that's when the problems start. See you next time.